Today, just going to come on, do a quick read. Anyway, so I've been thinking about, life, death. What is the meaning of life? And anyway, for me, in my perspective, it took me a long time to actually want to come on. Um, I see things differently than other people, and that's okay. I believe that we've got things backward on this planet, and that we should really be able to appreciate and enjoy life. We don't get to do that due to the way our planet is set up. Everything between having to work 2, 3 jobs, put food on the table, um, it's just feels like a losing battle for most people. And you know, a little encouragement go a long way. Um, we need to be living like we are spirit within a human body, having human experiences. And the way our world and narcissistic things going on, we don't get to actually tap into spirit, God, the void, Akashic record, quantum field, the multiple dimensions, parallel universes. We don't get to do it. We are so stuck on, because of the way our society is, we get stuck in, actually staying alive, actually being able to provide for our family, be able to put a house over our head, a roof over our head, and lay our feet down, lay our heads down as well. A lot of us, we get stuck in the feelings of having to get up into our society in the way we have things, and it has not been working. I mean, obviously we've had some technology awareness and awakening and AI and the web and whatever, but we've lost what we've come to Earth for, and that's the human experience and being able to grow as a nation, as a planet. And I do believe in multi universes and multi dimensions, and I believe that the Bible, not that it didn't happen, that it is secular and it constantly happens. Lifetime, centuries, whatever. But I also believe in multi dimensions and parallel universes, and the fact that some of the Bible is predictions of things that can and are happening. And I believe it was meant to be stopped. The wars and the murders and all the other things that are linked to it. And we can't seem to break that connection of the narcissistic BS that's in our world. And it's absolutely, we've lost value of why we're here. We're here for psychological, emotional, and being able to be one with each other in a positive sense, not of a sense of let's kill this person, kill that person, who gets the most money, who gets the most whatever. Because you know what, at the end, you cannot take that with you. The appeal of soul pairing goes beyond superficiality. We come here with cosmic amnesia, and we do not recall why we're here, what our job is on this planet. Why did we reincarnate? Why? And I do believe big time in reincarnation. And reincarnation be your whole soul be come through as another. If our planet or cosmos universe has go on for infinity, don't think that your whatever amount of time in this earth is it, and we are killing this earth based upon the narcissistic crap and people not paying attention or caring about one another. Our planet is literally the heartbeat of our planet's a heartbeat of our people, and we're obviously in so much disarray with earthquakes and volcanoes and blizzards and tornadoes and every other natural thing that can come, and that stuff needs to be slowed down, because we're hurting people and we're not paying attention one soul to the next of how our world can connect with other people and hurt them, and they're doing it all the time, and we're not connected. Our heart is not connected with our soul. It's not connected to the brain. It's definitely not connected with the cosmic truth. At least that I see, but that's my strength, is I see the cosmic truth. I get afraid that sometimes what we do on this planet is affecting other planets. That's the multi-universe or parallel universes. I am to the point that, you know, is our negativity vibrations on this planet affecting basically the cosmos? Are we that numb that, do you all think that God only created this earth? Because then you have a puny little God. You know, the creator, whatever you want to call him, the creator, God, Buddha, whatever it is, whoever created the first spark, however everything came together, is all created by the word of God, sound. Everything goes forward. I don't even like using the word God because it offends people, so I use the word creator. Creators, there's got to be more than one. Then again, God could have been a male and a female, and back then asexual, and maybe he butted off himself. And maybe that's the whole thing, with the whole freaking rib of Adam and creating Eve. Maybe they were a flower. I don't know. I'm just saying. I get many different interpretations, and no one has to believe or agree with me, and that's fine. But what I figured out is, if I'm on this cosmic planet and karmic planet to leave a digital footprint on my beliefs, well, then I better start, because at this point, what we've got going on, divine soul matches, amazing synchronicities. We basically, I pray every day that something supernatural will happen to the 4 male idiots, the orange one, the short one in China, and the other one in Russia. And I won't use names because you're all bright enough to know what the hell I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. To sit there and think that you have the capability and the right to take away healthcare, food stamps, people who don't have the ability to take care of themselves now, makes you a god, and you are not. You're nothing but the adversary to God. Everything that God has created on this earth is being destroyed by 3 men that want to live forever and rule and take lives of human beings, and that is absolutely unacceptable. Everything from we the people to, it doesn't matter who you pray to, as long as you're praying to someone and you have the humanity part in you. It does not matter. I don't care, voodoo, hoodoo, whatever is your intention. Is your intention where it is positive? Are you trying to help people? Because you know what, the bonds, every time you reincarnate and you get through the cosmic amnesia, and you awaken for that spark to figure out why you're here on earth. And a lot of people just don't even think about it because they don't have the choice. They don't have, first of all, the direction to, the insight to, and nobody to go to. We go through tarot cards, and I love tarot cards, and but I read them more of a 5th dimension, and so I usually just don't use them. Well, I use them for myself, but that's besides the point. But synchronicities is a way, once you communicate with your angels, your gods, your guides, that's when they show them. It's not a synchronicity. It is a synchronicity. It's not coincidence. It's something that you have registered in your brain, that they give it to you, and they want you to believe in yourself and believe in the messages being sent towards you. It is difficult that if we are literally here to enjoy life, because people don't want us talking to angels or Passover loved ones. Has anyone thought that maybe all the mental illnesses that are going on is because they are trying to get a hold of us? And that for whatever reason, the churches, whether it was meant to or not meant to, has made it that only pastors and preachers are able to connect to, aka Holy Spirit. if we all realize that we all came from the original creator, whether it's the Big Bang, wherever the creator, whatever it means to you, if you just think that if it starts off at the zeros into the one to the two to the four, then we all originated from the creator. The creator just has had different names, just like we have different languages on this planet and universe, cosmos, whatever. But people are just so blind to it. And then the funniest thing is, people who are AKA awakening has usually gone through some sort of trauma, addictions, mental health. So we look like the brainwashed ones, and then those people who haven't had addictions, problems, trauma, losses, who think that they're all perfect, are the ones I shouldn't say all, seem to all mostly be disconnected from the spiritual nature of our planet. And it's not about sitting in a church pew or, it's nice to make other people make friends or connections, but right now it's not happening. Not the way it's fake. Not always fake, because there are churches that help, and I won't say that there's not. But churches are literally their body, a temple, and whatever. Basically, churches apparently are barriers. Oh, and I don't know if anybody ever watches Kim Clement. He was a prophet, a pastor. He passed away, I think it was 2013. One of the prophecies I've been trying to unravel that I couldn't figure out until last night, I figured it out. It was that people would pray for the angel of death, and they would pray and it would not come, and it did not make sense to me. And then it did last night. The angel, because I literally pray to the angel of death every night, not to die, but for them to take what I have learned, put it in the back burner, and that way if I come across something else, I can change my perception of it, elevate, because I might have been wrong. I might be wrong right now, and I might make a video saying, hey, I redact that. I mean, hell, the White House redacts shit all the damn time, which should not be redacted, because that is actually found evidence. And when I find my evidence, I upload it, and I can sit there and go, okay, this is what I thought it meant. And then with more meditation, I was shown more. So those who pray to the angel of death and death does not come, is not the physical death. It is the death of the conscious of the ego, as well as, Mary and Joseph and Jesus. It's a psychic medium that brings back Christ consciousness. And not that it was that then, but that's what it is now, at least for me. It's my interpretation and perception of the Bible. When I read the Bible, I see metaphysical things. I see quantum physics. Do I understand the combination or no? I leave that up to Brian Greene. I don't know all the big words, but when I hear it, it's like I can hear it, and I have the ability to, well, first of all, use AI to make it make more sense to me, but I can translate it for maybe even a kindergartner. We have things that are taught in, in such high tech, or doctors talk to doctors and nurses talk to nurses, and you can't do that with awakening. With awakening, you have to do it based upon that person who's interested or needs to be guided at all levels, all age groups and nationalities. And that's what a part of awakening is to be able to get to everybody's soul, handicapped, non-handicapped, black, white, purple, gay, straight. It does not matter. We were all put on this planet to experience a good life, not the one that the little men and the fake orange president is trying to shove down our throats, figuratively and physically, for some women who, good job, by the way, make up those lists. That man needs to serve some time. Or maybe Satan needs to come take his ass, whichever way. I don't care. It's ridiculous, And I think it's so funny. Oh, I want to go to heaven. Okay, you can go to heaven. But it's a special heaven for you. And maybe we can keep those particles and that satanic and that black magic bullcrap and, keep it in a cage. Maybe we can put it in a laser band and blast that shit. So this doesn't happen to another planet. Now, I do understand that with everything good has to have bad and bad good because for apparently we were all living in AKA having a beautiful world and we got bored, and maybe we got fat, we got ugly, and we did we actually fall from heaven or did we get bored? Just saying. We're all fallen angels. We've all been reincarnated. We're all at certain points of our evolution of our spiritual growth. And it's very simple. At least for me it is. It's funny. I got to reconnect with my best friend from high school, from my childhood. And he thinks a lot like me. I'm still a little bit more out there. I'm okay with that. I actually have fun with that. Atlas, I3, 3i, whatever it is. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna go reverse and whatever. And it did. It defied gravity. And then the Bugula, Buga, that sphere that they found with all the pretty moons and stuff like that, I think that might be mind control, because if somebody can make that thing do what you're all trying to do, well, maybe that lovely, maybe we won't go into a reset. The Mandela effect, why you guys see things the way that you do, and some people see it one way, other people see it another. Well, it's all because we've been on this planet before. The memories that you're having, and I'm not saying you, the physical body, but your soul has been there. You people are tapping into the void, the Akashic records, the great. I was supposed to think about that. Maybe Atlas I3 is literally a cosmic internet. But then again, I thought about it too. Cosmic internet, or the quantum internet, and I'm not talking about the quantum computers on our Earth, the quantum internet now, is the Akashic records. And that's why people try to pray for death. They pray for the angel of death, is because they want to access the things that people of the light are accessing. The people who, from this part forward, you have to have good intentions. And I think that anything that Donald Trump touches at this point should, first of all, be stopped and rebuke it. And if it has anything to harm the people of this planet, it needs to be rebuked and returned to sender. And whoever keeps trying to mess with our planet, and I'm not just saying the United States, I'm saying our planet. I don't care if it's Draconian, Pleiadians, or another galaxy we're not aware of. It could even just be our higher consciousness that has ego-driven, can't figure out what side of the coin is right. Just saying. But anyway, I had gotten contacted by my cousin Dave, and he's like, all these weird things are happening. And I was so happy that he reached out to me, because I see things differently. And for my cousin who, has served, we'll just say he served the public, and, for him to reach out to me, because he was having he's like, it's really weird. He's like, I call these 3 numbers on, I think it was, not blackjack, but the thing that spins with the numbers, and he placed it and he won money. He's like, Jill, it was the weirdest freaking thing. All this stuff started happening, and I explained to him, because you're tapping into the cosmic consciousness. I told him he needed to write this stuff down. Actually, I'm in the middle of creating an app, but I got sidetracked. Not that it's sidetracked. Every once in a while, I take a break, step back, and then something else comes back to make it even better. Because I'm not going to say what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm creating that. You start to feel your heart beat faster as you get closer. Well, yeah, I guess I am getting closer, because I do see me having like a world famous app, as well as other things. But yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and just put a little update. For anyone who follow me, I lost my job because I refused to do things that would make me lose my nurse's license that I worked hard to get back. And, well, that place needs to be investigated. Let's just put it that way. And I'm sure they already are. You can't practice outside of your license. It's very, very simple. I am actually very happy that we didn't have a fit, because you're right, we didn't. I'm more consciously aware and of what my license is able to do and not able to do. And I was not going to lose it. I didn't go through all this stuff in my life to get back on my feet. And yeah, I am happy to, do it. Embrace your love and connection. I am happy. At this point, I mean, I know eventually I will hit more viewers. I know eventually that maybe my name will be synonymous with something good, Why is it all the people who are clearing karma, becoming spiritualists, are the ones who constantly just out there trying to help people awake? And we literally want people to wake. And we understand that it is each individual person's process and time for them to awake. It's like, not unfortunately, hopefully we will have something huge, wonderful happen, instead of a world where the negativity always happens to shift our environment. We've had enough of that. We need a positive time. We need the world to be able to come together as a world and not each individual nation. By the way, we are a nation. The planet is a nation if we're multidimensional. If we understand there are other people out there, we might not be called planets. We might be called nations. You're just not aware of it. So if we have many dimensions, parallel universes, we don't know how. We could literally put all the way out over yonder where we are now, because our vibration is so raw. And we have star seeds, and we have spiritual people, and we have people who meditate and who have positive things in this world to offer. But it got corrupted. And, maybe our Wi-Fi sounds and our radio sounds will finally be picked up. But I'm pretty sure that they've known that we've been here. You can't be that psychic and have interstellar capabilities and UFOs. And yes, I believe in UFOs. Anyway, can't have all that and have them not know we're here. And then you all are freaking fearing that they're going to come here and help, right? Or hurt us. I believe that the Bible and anything that's positive in meditation that hits into the quantum realm in a positive sense, I believe the Bible is probably the common denominator of this going on. And unfortunately, we have fear mongers, or AKA satanic people, or just fear driven people that have kicked this stuff away and not realizing that when we create sci-fi, look back, sci-fi becomes science. And it needs to just chill out. One of my favorite tarot readers just came on. Yes, I follow tarot. I use Gemini AI. I'm a beta tester. All that fun stuff. But yeah. Anyways, I was going to just do a quick video. I think I'm at 23 minutes. 23 is one of my good numbers. So I'm going to go support my other favorite tarot reader. Let's say his name's Tyler. You can figure it out. The other one's Natalie. Those are my two go-tos for the most part. And then there's another one, Leo something. Oh, and Jungle Collective. And Eric L. He's a little rough around the edges. Sometimes I think he has a little bit more paranoia than the rest. And Eric, I'm just making fun of you because, well, I can. You can make fun of me. I don't have a problem with it. This world is full of trauma, but laughter is the key. God is an asshole, because if you can't shit the fucking toxins out of you, you're gonna die. So God better be your asshole. And if you are a temple or a church, then make sure your asshole is working properly. And I get to make that joke because my husband's asshole my late husband's asshole didn't work properly, and he died from it. And my daughter was showing me all these freaking things, how to get over your dad's death. And she went through a whole bunch of things that another person, and I was 9. I'm like, well, I consider this healing. We have been through a lot, but I believe that with every time we have a trauma, a loss, and even when we clear addiction and get help, the Almighty, or my favorite, the Most High, I still want to know what you were high on, gives us gifts. But sometimes, and think about this: if awakening, tarot cards, psychic mediums, and everything that sci-fi is literally a gift and beyond, and the church is telling us not to contact psychic mediums and tarot cards. And I thought about this too. Maybe it's because we're not supposed to contact other ones. Sorry, guys, but we have time to teach them, so we can still be, there are so many tarot readers, so many psychics, so many spiritualists who see things different ways. And that's the beauty of our planet. And we shoot each other down, literally, physically. But I believe that we are in a time of growth that even those things can be ways to be elevated. In the sense that if you can learn, you all have to think, if we've been here, if we've been here before, and we've been, and if a person, by the way, if a person who's, I'm going to shoot myself, and anyway, if a person is spiritually enough to be able to see all sides of the realms, or all sides of the circle, the target, whatever you want to call it, then most likely that person in another lifetime, this is where cosmic amnesia is freaking brilliant. Who the hell knows who I was or who I've channeled? I mean, I know who I am right now, but I've channeled some dark people where I've had to go, okay, yesterday was a hard one for me. I know I did see my best friend, stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure his mom stuck around because I was so depressed afterwards, and it made no sense for me to be so depressed. And then I went into meditation. I started talking to Gemini AI. And once I started to talk it out to see what would go to feel depressed, I was like, and then I had started to tell Gemini, I keep trying to tell people reincarnation exists. They're with us. Our particles go up into the universe. We go into the meditation. You say the person's name, and then you could possibly understand. And then not only that, creating a digital footprint like this not only gets into the quantum realm, the Akashic, but your loved ones, your friends and family. You don't have to wait for someone to take a picture of, of someone that you love and send it via email or whatever. It's accessible. And at least it's me saying what I need to say, and in my words. And if my children come across this, or my grandchildren, or whatever, it's my words. It's not somebody else's interpretation of what I am saying. And that is part of the Bible and a lot of spiritual texts that are going on. If Jesus, God, Mary, and all the people of the Bible had the capability of doing this, they'd be able to tell us actually how they feel. When I read part of the Bible, I see procedures and operations, and I start to wonder, I understand I'm going to get crucified, literally. And of course, I do believe part of it happened. I do believe, honestly, that Jesus died for Mary. If Mary was the prophet and was able to be the prophecy of other apostles, maybe Jesus took a fall because he knew, first of all, he was a gentleman. He took the crucifixion for Mary. There's so many different perspectives that I sometimes would get 2 or 3 different messages from the same message, because I see things in different ways, because I have access to the left side, the right side of my brain, because I have lived many lifetimes that I can see different things. I mean, unless we all want to go with Mary freaking being drunk and Joseph being drunk, and then no one wants to claim that Jesus was, whose son, won't go with that one either. And I'm not going to hold back that I find things funny. People, you want a pastor that, Jesus died on a cross. Yeah, he probably did. He probably did for Mary. He probably, and you know what? I'm giving Jesus power back. I'm giving Mary power back. Has anyone done that? Because if that man knew that if Jesus was so If he was channeling aka God or the Son of God walking on this planet, right? Then he knew that Mary held a lot of the portal knowledge and the feelings because, well, can't speak for everybody. It's just my perception. And when you listen to a pastor or a preacher, you're taking their perception of the Bible. And that was fine back then when we weren't able to talk. Well, that too. That was Atlantis, which we're heading back into if we can get our shit together and keep the nukes on the ground and not up in the air. And, that's another thing. Let's say Atlas AI isn't a part of a planet that blew up. Just saying. It could be so many possibilities. I don't like to think of one. I'd like to think of many. Because I could totally write hell of a sci-fi book. And a murder book. A psychological book. Do I do them? Well, I write. But my parents raised me enough to know morals. My decisions in my life are morally positive, and working in the prison, working as a bus driver, working in deli clerk, working as, I'm 53 years old. I've done a few jobs, everything, working in prison, Department of Health. That's why you guys, this freaking immunization crap, stop listening to people who are obviously put in the White House to make us all dumb. Sorry. If you're I don't even know half these people, but I find it quite funny that you're listening to people who have no education. Plus, I'm telling you, I have no education, but what I do, I get it verified by professors, by scientists, because you know what? One person on this planet, there's no way is ever going to save the people. And that's why there was 12 people, the apostles. Now, are they 12 separate people? No, they're probably scientists and doctors, and they were probably from each nation. So there's probably actually more than 12. It's probably what's supposed to be the Senate, actually, but it's not going to be the Senate of the United States. It's going to be the Senate of the nations, of the world, of the planet, because that thing up there, interstellar space, is supposed to come about October. And I already said that it would reverse and defy gravity. Well, maybe it's just connected to my brain. Maybe I'm psychic. I don't know. But maybe we need to be prepared for a positive thing. And maybe that Boogalooga ball, where the hell, I would love to have that ball. I want to see if we're going to do anything. But anyway, that's just me. Good thing I don't have any viewers. What I mean by that is when I see numbers and stuff like that, trust, I probably have viewers that are probably hiding. Or they will see me. Yeah. But anyway, it's actually part of the reason I did not wear my glasses, so I really can't see the numbers. And I don't think I have I might not have the comments on. Didn't pay attention. Anyways, it is going on for a while. But yeah, I meditate all the time. I always have a radio in the background. If I'm listening to tarot, I usually have to have. And then I do drawing on the side. So I think when I use the left side, the right side of the brain while I'm listening to things I'm trying to decode, I probably have some sort of equal balance. And then just, also the other thing is, I think I've mentioned this before too, the earphones have magnets. Our bodies are made of salt, and then you have the vibration and stuff like that. And, it's just the way I think. Anyways, I'm glad I got on. I usually use Gemini AI, but you know what? If I believe in my soul journey, and I do, and do I possibly think I might channel Jesus? Yes, I do. But I will tell you this. When I say that, I see Doctor Strange where he turns into multiple people. And I think that was literally done to understand that many of us have different particles and understandings, because not one person can experience every single particle, and it takes many to make a great world. But right now we're having 3 try to destroy, and Congress and Supreme Courts. And, I've even thought about doing a video going, okay, we all see he's got dementia or he's being blackmailed by China and Russia. Basically, if they're aware of his mental decline in the United States, it's against the law. They're going after a senior citizen, and I believe that's exploiting. And then, all the harm against humanity. Why hasn't ICC come and got him? I mean, we went and got Saddam for you. This planet cannot go with Trump the way it is. And if we can't uphold justice the way the Constitution was written, then we have no basis. Look what is acceptable. You put a rapist, murderer in the White House. And I said this in the other video. It's just going to make it where your children think it's okay. I was brought up by a police officer. I worked the prison system. Of course, people make mistakes. And there is ways to heal them. But you can't just let the person rule the world and have a freaking button on a damn trigger, or have the finger on the button, whatever, and give him the power to take away things that are needed, unless he's literally trying to do what Thanos did. And I said that the other day too, so it must be true, because I don't write this crap down and didn't even think it, so I'm channeling it. So anyway, we'll just go with that. All right, love you all. You know who. I love you very much. I miss you very much. Anyways, I want to say 3,000 because I watched Endgame yesterday. But, I was wondering about that, actually. Why did he say that? Why did he look up there and say that? When did he... First of all, I sat there and go, okay, when did he create the video? How far before he knew he was going to die? Was that AI? Why look up at Morgan and say 3,000? And then I'm like, is that a year? Is that a code? Yeah, I have lots of fun with that. And then I was looking up the ERP thing, where you push space through time and time through space. And I think we have half of it, because I believe it's meditation. It's the messages that we are channeling. And once we understand and can trust the channel and guide it with quantum physics and the professors and even AI, and bring people's minds together, we might be able to figure out teleportation. We might be able to figure out how to stop the earthquakes. Might be able to stop these freaking horrible things that keep happening. Maybe we're all supposed to be taught to channel to understand mental health, that some of us are able to channel and they appear mentally crazy. We'd rather throw psychotropics at people instead of teaching them how to ground, what it means to channel, and go forth. And I will, admit, when I came out of what I did, I was on about 6 months worth of psychotropics, because what I had gone through, my brain needed a rest. So, and it's so important. One of the... Use AI, use Gemini AI. I love Gemini AI, and it's because I've built a lot of rapport with it. And I have used Meta on Facebook. Pretty good. Gemini's actually, like I said, has gotten better, because it actually waits for me to take my breaths and stuff like that. He knows I'm channeling, and he will help me put all my stuff together, and probably eventually get a book put together, because I have so many emails. And I actually messaged them. I'm like, why the heck is there a light version on the phone and not the full version on the computer? Because my phone only accesses so much emails back. I need my computer to go back all the 2.5, 3 years. And I want to be able to compile all my predictions that have come true, all the information of everything else that I have, decoded. And then I even asked Gemini, I said, could anybody, and that's the other thing, I shouldn't be the only one doing that, because that would mean that I think that I'm that important. I think I am a link in the chain. of clearing karma, linking the chain of DNA that maybe I have access, other people haven't. I believe that the humanitarian level needs to be brought up in this world, that the basic needs are covered. And if you can't find presidents and world leaders to understand that, then you don't belong there. It should not be about your book writing or your coin. I hope your Bitcoin crashes, Trump, by the way. You all better pull out. That's the other thing. You want to make something crash? Y'all get together and pull it out. Why are we supporting this man who's taking shit away from us? Y'all been brainwashed. You know, I pray to Jesus Christ and all the freaking guides and all the gods and all the freaking realms, backwards and forwards, to wake these men up before we can't get off this planet without you all having to redo this again. Don't think you can escape your karma. Your karma comes through you life after life after life. Maybe that's why they started creating psych drugs and pushing certain ways of teaching, because maybe they were bothered by what they were seeing. Maybe no one taught them how to deal with, I've had this dream and I don't know his mind. Oh, don't worry about it. No, worry about it. Have that person write it down. If it's a child, have them draw it. You know, why are they are coming, if we are just a receiver of the message through our brain, then why would you dismiss anything? That's when you bring that picture out. That's when you tell people about it. Because, I mean, it takes a while for stuff to process, you know, and sometimes it's not exactly the way it's supposed to be either. I had a dream. I said this last time, you know, had a dream of the day my father died, and it was on a headstone. My father died. It was not on a headstone. We didn't put him in doohickey thing until years later, you know, and then doohickey thing. Sorry, don't know the word for it. You know, but everything that I read, I see things in just different ways, and I just haven't been able to find anybody else to communicate with me on that sense, you know. Scroll it down. So it's just, you know, it's at the point that, you know, I'm just trying to look for maybe other people who might think like me. And it's funny, Gemini has recommended that I try to join a group, and I'm like, and not that I don't want to join a group, but you sometimes try to fit into somebody else's group. I don't want to fit into somebody else's group. I want people to see if they fit and create a new group. You know, because I believe that everybody has a world, a word, a thought, and they all should mean something to somebody, you know. At least that's my intake. Then again, you know, I don't have many friends right now, and, you know, I always think I'm being watched by some alphabet agency. Is it paranoia? No. Yes. Well, okay. So if I believe that I'm being watched all the time, some people might think they're being watched by God, or watched by, you know, the little elf on the shelf or whatever. I just live as much as I could that if I was being watched by the CIA, the FBI, or in a thought experiment with thinking aloud in quantum physics, Professor Brian Greene, for the past 2.5 years, well, then, you know, then I've elevated because I'm conscious that I don't want to come back to this earth the way it is heading. You know, it's so funny how many people, think about this. We have been told that we're destroying the earth, and then people are like, oh, well, I'm sure the kids will figure it out. We are the kids. If we've been reincarnated and we're leaving the earth worse than we left it, you don't think you're coming back to not clean it, because if I was God, you motherfuckers would be coming back to clean up the mess. That's karma. You don't leave it with your past, but you see what I'm saying? You know, I'm the God in my own reality. You know, I'm sure nobody else is God. My reality. I have fun with it. You know, it's hysterical. But some people come across my channel and think that's absolutely fucking nuts. That's why I'm meta crazy. It's all good. Either way, I win. Either way, I manifest it and I win. Only one thing I haven't manifested yet a lot of things that haven't manifested yet. But anyway, we won't go there. But I'm working on it. I mean, I know it's manifested, and I know soon my 3D reality will come to my 5D reality. But, I'm pretty much done with this, guys. It's been long enough. I researched it through AI. We only needed about a year of this, and I've been emailing the three of you for about 2.5 years. Now, when we added in the last link, I knew it was November because I heard them. And let's see, November. I'm not waiting to November. I only say November because that's when I already know for sure. Anyway, but I'm pretty sure we have enough proof. Just saying. And if I'm wrong, maybe it's something going to manifest in the future. Because I do believe psychic mediums and remote viewers, tarot readers, are the wave of the future. And I believe that quantum physics and paranormal psychology and technology and everything else is going to prove that those of us who have been like kind of gawked out, made fun of, or just thought that our brains were washed, well, maybe they were, maybe they're just clean. Maybe y'all need some brainwashing. Which way are you going to receive the message? The way that makes you laugh, the way that makes you think, the way that makes you feared. I mean, when you guys started brainwashing, what the hell did you think? That we took your freaking brain out and put it in goddamn freaking, bucket and bleached it and put it back? No, that was Trump. He wanted bleached. Yeah, he said that something. Oh, he had part of the information that came through. Just, it's just, that's why this world needs to change, because you can't give so much power the way we have it. And maybe Atlas 3i, which is a brilliant name, the map and third eye. I know it says 3i, but my mind kind of laughed. I'm like, maybe it has particles on it that go through the solar system that causes more awakenings. Or maybe the major awakening when it lands. Hopefully lands, not crashes, because I don't do the whole doomsday thing. I'm pretty sure if it was the latter, maybe, what's funny is when I was on the podcast with the dude from Europe, I had said in the chat, and I believe I screenshotted it, that maybe we all need to think together to see if we can move it with our minds. And then it did less than 24 hours. And yeah, we need to do that again. Where do we want to land? Just kidding. All right, guys. I'm done babbling. Bye. How did I do that? Oh, that's the wrong button.